Um, my purpose with this channel is to usher in a new age of science for mankind and of knowledge. And a real scientist should be able to abstract from his empirical existence and let his higher faculty of the mind express what he believes is the truth, or at least hypotheses which might enable the unfolding and the revelation of the truth. And a real scientist should be indifferent to the fate of his empirical self, which is just the passive medium through which the higher self, which is truth, can express itself. And for the sake of science, one should be willing to negate one's empirical self. And I am asking myself questions as to the relationship between my lower self, which is the empirical individual that you see, and my higher self, which I know is reason, as Hegel means, or the principle of all reality. And I understood a few years ago that what people call evil um, is the projection of the subconscious of myself, but I don't know which self. I know that it is my higher self, but I'm starting to wonder, is the subconscious of this individual reflected into the world, and is the wickedness and the vices of mankind, are they a reflection of this empirical self vices and wicked aspect? I don't know. So in this video I will try to have a I know it's difficult, but to abstract and to detach myself from my empirical self and to have an honest conversation, as honest as can be at this moment in time, about the perversions of this individual. And I will begin by talking about sexuality, because I know that um, everything is sexual in life, and that philosophy and intellectual cognition is just sexuality for the mind. You cannot escape from the clutches of sex, in a way. So um, philosophy is just a sublime transcendence of sexuality, but a philosopher or a scientist is seeking to penetrate into the essence of things, or into nature, or the laws of mind, or nature, or spirit. So unconsciously we are always sexually active as males, because we want to grasp, to penetrate, to reveal the secrets. So yeah, so human sexuality is an inverted aspect of divine sexuality, which is the work of the cognitive process of trying to penetrate the essence of the world, of God, of science, of nature. So that's the first thing that I believe. As an empirical individual, um, I have doubted my ability to satisfy and to please women sexually, because I believe myself to be a mediocre lover. I've only had one partner in sex when I was younger, and it was enjoyable, and she never let me know that I was disappointing. She appeared to be satisfied, but I doubted my own performance, and I was never convinced that I was sexually um, successful. Like I always doubted my ability to really satisfy a woman sexually. So that has played an important role on my psyche, my self-doubt, and my yeah. So that's a part of my psyche. I am as an empirical individual, I doubt my ability to satisfy a woman sexually. Maybe I could, but I don't think that I am a great lover. I'm mediocre at best, I think. Um, as my sexual tendencies, I used to watch a lot of pornography, and I once watched homosexual intercourse just to know what it would be like, and well, it was a strange experience, and I did not start again. I've watched threesomes on pornography sometimes, quite often, not all the time, but it often happened. I've watched interracial sex sometimes and quite often, and most of the time I watched anal sex because there's this idea in me that um, classical sex is not enough, and that anal sex is a mixture of pain and pleasure, and that in my twisted psyche it gives more pleasure to the woman. And yeah, so that's a part of my psyche. I used to watch a lot of pornography at some point in my life, and these were the kind of video that I watched. But otherwise, I am heterosexual, and I am sexually attracted by women and by sex when I see beautiful naked women, and that's, I guess, healthy in a way. I'm not saying that homosexuality is not healthy, but I have no problems other than the ones that I've just mentioned. Um, Also, I've realized that what men seek in philosophy, like I said, is inverted sex, is a transcendence of sex. So all philosophers are perverts in a way because they pretend to be these detached men seeking noble, pure ends and end goals, whereas actually they just want sex in the intellectual realm. And the women who are deeply religious, they pretend to be pure and to be virtuous, but what they want in religion is to be spiritually possessed, to be penetrated by a higher principle. So I've noticed that there's a relationship in women between sexual looseness, their sexuality, the more their sexuality is loose and open, and in the human realm, the less they are religious, and the more they are religious, the less sexually open they are, because they concentrate their hopes and their efforts in wishing to be penetrated by the Holy Spirit. And mystical women, they seem to be pure and virtuous in the realm of sex, but they are the most sexually active women because religion is the most is the highest form of sex, because it's intellectual penetration, and it's more real than physical sex. So that's quite funny when you understand the psyche of these women. I also understood that nature, the world of matter, time, space, and physical bodies, is the female aspect of God. It is the dual aspect of God, because God is strictly speaking a mental principle. So whatever is in nature is female in the eyes of God. So even the masculine males, because they have a body, their body in relation to God is womanish, and that's why we all have, from a metaphysical standpoint, a part of woman and a part of man in us, and there is only God. God is the whole of being, so God is the agent and the patient of his own process, so God can only seek to penetrate himself, and to penetrate is to be active, and to be penetrated is to be passive. So God is both male and female, active and passive, and yeah. So we are all women. A part of us is womanish in the eyes of God, and only our mental principle is manly as males, and that's very important. Also, as an empirical individual, I am sexually aroused and excited by women with character, with strength of mind, and with humor. The more funny a woman is, the more character she manifests, the more I feel sexually attracted, because I've understood that when a woman is comical and strong, these are masculine attributes, but I am attracted by these type of masculine attributes in women, not because I want them to dominate me, but I want them to complete me. And when a woman is strong in character, it creates the will to be even stronger for the man. And when a woman makes good jokes and spiritual jokes, it creates kind of an embarrassment in man. He says, "Oh, I cannot allow a woman to be funnier than I am, so I will try to be even more funny and even more comical." And what I find sexually attractive in funny women and strong women is that they gave me the will to be even more funny and even stronger, and they awaken a masculine aspect within me. They complete me and they bring balance to my psyche. So yeah, that's a very fundamental determination of my psyche as an empirical individual. All the women that I ever been in love with or fallen in love or being attracted to, they all had this psychological characteristic. And the women who are just beautiful, even though they may be magnificent and be physically perfect, um, if they are not comical and if they are empty in personality, I feel not attracted. I can acknowledge their beauty and to be sexually attracted because I'm a male, but I will have no romantic tension. And yeah, so yeah. And to give an illustration, the type of women which I find very attractive because they are comical are Kesha, the singer in pop music, Avril Lavigne, some aspects of Skylar Grey, some aspects of Rihanna, this kind of twisted, comical, womanish aspect. I find this very attractive and very appealing. And one last aspect of my psyche as an empirical individual, I have a serious problem with the idea of Germany, because when I hear people say that you should not mess with the Germans are very nice, but when you get them angry, they can be really angry. And in my deep psyche, I feel sexually aroused by the strength of the German character. I have a serious problem with this, and I need a psychotherapy, because the idea of Germany that I have, I feel sexually aroused by the masculine will of the German mind, and I suffer seriously from that. My relation with Germany as an idea is seriously troubled, and I need to work on that, because yeah. And I will put the links to two songs um, in the description below, which express the female psyche in its highest depth, one might say, and the female archetype is an aspect of God. So, and modern pop culture, in my view, expresses truths about the nature of God. So, I will put the link to a song which express the feminine archetype, and another which expresses the masculine archetype, and which are both aspects and moments of God. So yeah, I try to be as honest as I could, and hopefully I will understand myself better, and yeah.